Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone's doing well and having a good start to your weekend. Today, we're going live again for the Ultimate Health and Weight Loss Bundle. There's only 2 days left. It ends tomorrow at, I think, midnight or maybe 2 a.m. Pacific time. But today and tomorrow is the last day to get the Ultimate Vegan Health and Weight Loss Bundle. So definitely, if you haven't checked it out, guys, it is truly a great package of products and video courses and ebooks and all these things from a lot of plant-based doctors, a lot of experts in the vegan movement. It's put on by Lissa from Raw Food Romance and Chef AJ. And so this is one of the best ones every single year. It gets a lot of, like I said, the big plant-based doctors out there, and they've made products for this bundle. But today, we're going to be talking with Fruity Ava. So Fruity Ava, it has a simple and delicious raw vegan recipes ebook in this bundle. And we're going to maybe talk a little bit about my book as well, 21-Day Raw Transformation Program, the ebook version right here. So if you guys haven't got that, or you want to check out Fruity Ava's Raw Vegan Simple and Delicious Recipe Book, highly recommend it. I'm going to bring her on. I see she is in the chat here, so let's get Ava in here. What's got going on in this ebook? Thanks everybody for joining. Hey Ava.
Hi, so nice to be here.
Yeah, so nice to meet you too. Oops, I forgot. I gotta move my camera. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm really fine. It's so cool because I watched so many videos of you, and it's really cool to have like a real conversation.
Yeah.
So yeah, really. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm great. Couldn't be better. So, especially, meeting up with you here for the first time and getting to talk about your amazing ebook and the rest of the bundle. I mean, it's a pretty incredible bundle.
Yeah, I think it's really awesome. Like so many products, so much value. It's really insane for such a cheap price.
Yeah.
Really, really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So really grateful.
Yeah. So again, everybody, if anybody wants to check it out, the link is in Ava's bio or my bio. Just go check it out. You can see all the products that are in there. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how much value is in there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I mean, this is our first time actually like meeting in person or in the virtual world. So where are you from?
Okay, I'm from Germany, but I really love Spain.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like part of my heart is Spanish. So yeah, I'm like right now I'm in Germany, but before I lived in Spain, and actually I just came back 3 days ago from a 4.5 month trip in Thailand and Malaysia.
Wow.
So yeah, but yeah, I don't know. So, but I'm German. I'm German. So excuse me for my bad English. I'm not a native speaker, so yeah.
I wouldn't have noticed. I mean, you speak very good. So, what was your favorite part of your trip?
Good question. I think there were so many. I think one thing that I really liked, I went to a meditation center and lived with monks, but it was
Wow.
4 days. But it was just super unique, like a really cool experience. So I think that was the most. But I think I just came back, so I think there's so much I need to reflect on, and yeah. But it was really interesting. It was my first ever solo trip outside of Europe, so it was just a lot going on. But yeah,
Amazing.
really interesting. Where are you from? You're from Minnesota, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Minnesota.
Minnesota, central United States. I'm actually just on the border of Canada, so I'm almost Canadian.
It's cold.
So. Yeah, it's cold. It's cold. It's actually been a little warmer the last couple days, but before that, it was like the high was like 0 degrees Fahrenheit, so pretty cold.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, Germany is also quite cold, but manageable, I would say. But Canada is a whole different thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are the what is it like being raw vegan in Germany?
Great question. I think it's similar to maybe Minnesota. I can imagine because
Yeah.
the winter is quite cold, like it's manageable, but quite cold. And the summer, I would say, is super easy. Like the summer, the fruit quality is great. You have so much fruit, like plums, pears, whatever, like so much. So summer is super easy, but winter is a little bit tricky. I mean, like you get fruit, but the fruit quality is like more or less.
Yeah. Same.
And so yeah, I think if you are in Germany, I would recommend to like do more dehydrated stuff and do sprouts and things like that. I think many people who are raw vegan in Germany, they do a lot of that, like fermented stuff, sprouts, and all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, but Spain is a little bit easier, I would say. So
Yeah, I bet. A lot more tropical fruits in Spain.
yeah, I would say so. Actually, I lived in the Canary Islands. They're like small islands. They belong to
Yeah.
Spain, but and they're subtropical, so it's not fully tropical, but it's also like really nice
Yeah.
climate.
Yeah.
And I was there for some years, and it's much easier as well. But I think, to be honest, because I was now in the tropics, and I have to say, if there's a will, there's kind of a way.
Mm.
I mean, you don't have to be fully raw, but it's definitely manageable. And I felt like in the tropics they have really good fruit,
Hmm.
but the veggies are like
Right.
I don't know, like
Yeah.
so Germany the fruit is not that good, but they have really amazing veggies. So yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah. Funny how that
yeah,
works. It's kind of, there's pros and cons to pretty much anywhere you
fun
go. Yeah.
for sure. How is it in Minnesota? Like you, how is it to be raw or fruit based or
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, it's manageable, kind of
yeah,
probably like you
manageable.
said, probably similar to Germany. We the tropical fruit selection isn't the greatest. Sometimes we'll
Yeah,
have some good papayas, good mangoes sometimes, but it's not not like Florida or somewhere,
yeah,
where it's going to be a lot better options. But yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, here they grow not a lot of fruits, but we grow a lot of veggies.
yeah.
There are like apples and pears, and berries and melons that you can grow here. But yeah, it's a good place to get, some of those not tropical fruits, but vegetables and things. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you make it work. You do the best you can and just kind of flow with the seasons and go that way.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah, for sure. Actually, that maybe made me think because I kind of read your book, 21 Days, Thriving and Transformation. I really love this book. So much great value.
Thank you.
Like, so really good job, good job. And you have this amazing system, which is called the traffic light system, right? Where
Yeah.
you have different food groups. And I think that's so great to have the system because I felt like when I went kind of raw vegan, mostly raw vegan, I didn't know about that. And I think it really made things hard for me because I felt I was thinking kind of black and white. Either I'm fully raw vegan or I kind of failed. And I
Yeah.
think it's much better if you have like different food groups. And yeah, maybe you want to explain it because it's your idea and your book, because
Yeah.
it's such a great yeah, concept.
Well, thank you so much. I can't say that I came up with it. There's Dr. Greger has a stoplight system. Mastering Diabetes has one. So I just kind of
Yeah,
took ideas from them and kind of formulated it for the raw lifestyle and kind of what I have seen work. But yeah, I think it's super important for people to not
mhm.
be so black and white where they're either all raw or no, otherwise they just go off on a completely different style of diet. And I think that one of the things that most people struggle with is defining their boundaries of their diet and creating structure that they
Yeah,
can follow.
yeah,
Because, without that, if somebody just, goes out and they eat like an Impossible Burger or some like restaurant food that's fried or something, and then they think that, they just they can't well, what it does is it gets them into like a more of an addicted, hyper stimulated
yeah,
state where they just crave those processed foods again. But if you just stick to, incorporating a little bit of like whole steamed fruits or vegetables, I guess, that helps people a lot more with getting
Yeah.
through times, whether they're in like, an area that doesn't have great access all year round to good fruit. It gives them that little bit of flexibility where they can incorporate a little bit of steamed vegetables or whatever and still be very healthy and not get, and not kind of mess up their taste buds to where they're just craving these other stimulating foods. So yeah, there's the green light foods, which is all the low fat raw fruits and vegetables that you can eat. You can eat those until you're full. And then the yellow light foods, I split into two categories because there's the cooked ones, or there's the raw ones, which is like the higher fat, like nuts and seeds, avocados, even durian. And then the cooked side, if you want to bring in some cooked foods, not everybody has to. If you can stay raw, that's awesome. But if you want, and you feel like you would make it more sustainable for you long term, you can bring in some steamed potatoes or steamed vegetables or whatever is going to make it sustainable for you. So that's the whole thing, is making this personalized, right? So you don't have to do it just like everybody else. Whatever is going to work for you is the best way to do it. So yeah, I mean, and those are support foods. So I emphasize that we don't replace our green light foods with these yellow light foods. They just kind of supplement, or they support to fill in the gaps if we're not having the best variety or access to good fruit. So yeah, I mean, it's just a great way to make it more sustainable for a lot of people, because not everybody is in a great location to make raw vegan very easy to do. And so I think this just helps them a little bit to make it more sustainable.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's such a great concept because I think it makes, if you think only in black and white, it makes it so hard. So for example, the last days of me being in Thailand, I was in Bangkok and I got really sick. Like really, the last days I got really sick, but I couldn't really like detox or fully because I had to think about my flight. How do I get to the airport? So I could not just, sleep the whole day. I had to function in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So and I just got to Bangkok, got terrible sick, and there was so much fruit available. So it was just really great to have the option of, okay, if there's not enough fruit, what can I have instead? So cooked veggies, or there was like, they cook banana a lot, or cooked potato, and it was just so good to give me enough energy.
Yeah.
And so I could figure out how I go to the airport and then go to the flight. So it's just really sometimes, because the life sometimes is really messy, to have options. And I think especially if you do it long term, like I started when I was 17. I mean, I was vegan and vegetarian before, but so since 5 years. And life is sometimes like that. And I think most of the time I'm raw and I can make it happen. But sometimes life just throws you.
Yep.
And yeah, and it's great to have like a backup for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, flexible boundaries, I think, is what's missing for most people. So yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah.
Do you want?
I think.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go for it.
As well, and also to not feel guilty about it, because I think I did that mistake of like thinking black and white, and then when I couldn't stay raw and ate something cooked, I felt really guilty about it. And it took some effort to get rid of that guilty feeling and say, hey, as long as you stay, for example, raw most of the time, some cooked food or cooked veggies or something, it's not gonna like have a super bad influence or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, really
grateful. 100%. And I was similar to you. Like in the beginning, I just wanted to stay raw because I thought, that was the way to the best health, which, I think it can be for sure.
Yeah.
But also, the longer I've been in this lifestyle, the more I've been watching, because I listen to, podcasts and interviews from all different areas, all different styles of eating. And so, and just in my own personal experience, and I know a lot of people have this experience as well, I have relatives that live to very old ages, very, pretty healthfully, like grandparents, and they weren't raw vegan. So
Yeah.
I kind of had to remind myself that it's not, diet isn't absolutely everything. We can set ourselves up for, we can stack the deck in our favor. We can give
Yeah.
ourselves the best chances by eating a healthy diet. But we also have to remember that, most of the longest lived people aren't eating 100% raw.
Yeah.
And so it's not like having some, a little bit of steamed potatoes or vegetables in with, your mostly raw diet. That's most likely from my perspective, that's not going to cause any detrimental effects.
Yeah.
And so I think people should take that perspective because it's much more empowering. It's much more,
Mm.
um, it's just an easier way to go about living a raw vegan lifestyle
Yeah.
because you're not as stressed if things aren't, perfect for you with what you have access to and things like that. So I think just keeping a positive attitude and just trying to do the
Yeah.
best that you can do is the way to go.
I love that. I think as well, just this abundance mindset, because I think in the raw food community, there's kind of this scarcity mindset of you have to be raw, or it's like everything is kind of
Yeah.
lost. Instead of saying, okay, especially people who transition, it's just so good to say, okay, I've eaten so much fresh fruit and veggies today, and then instead of saying, oh no, I ate something cooked or something unhealthy, I'm like, my day is over, just say, hey, I already ate so much fresh fruit and veggies, to just change perspective a little bit. And I think that's also something I had to learn, to not look at the, oh no, I ate something unhealthy, but to really more have a look on, oh, the whole day I ate so healthy. Yeah, just to have a little bit more of an abundance mindset.
Yeah.
That's really, really important.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, for
Thank you.
sure. So with your recipe book, are these like recipes that are these like some of your favorite recipes, or how did you come up with them?
Yeah, so these are some of my favorite recipes, and they're really simple because when I started like going fruit based, I had no idea, and it's really just really simple. I didn't have a dehydrator, and I just had a blender.
Okay.
So the recipes are really simple and really my basics. Basically, when I'm stressed, I can just, throw together 6 ingredients and make an amazing, delicious meal. So they're like, for example, zucchini pasta recipes, or they have nice cream, or some sweet meal recipes. So just some really simple, delicious recipes that you can do when you're stressed or when you're just starting out. Because I feel sometimes, like, I love to make like more crazy dishes with a dehydrator, but for beginners, it can be super overwhelming. So I think yeah, I just have my recipe ebook that is for people who want to try it and who are curious, and yeah, or people who are just super stressed or super lazy, they don't want to prepare food. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my recipe ebook.
Awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I think it's so, I mean, the simple recipes, I love simple recipes too. And I do like to make the more fancy ones every once in a while, but
Yeah, both.
I think like the recipes in your book, the simple ones, I think those are essential for somebody to have as a foundation
Yeah,
and to really
yeah,
make, because if the diet isn't simple or easy to make your meals,
yeah,
it's most people won't stick with it, right? So
yeah,
the simpler and easier we can make it, the more, the better chance people are going to have to succeed with it. So I think your book is super
mhm.
valuable, and
Thank
the
you.
recipes delicious, and so yeah, I think people are going to love it.
Yeah, I think also because now I was like I had the flu, so I cannot do 5 hours in the kitchen. I just need some simple
Yeah,
things. So yeah, I think it's good to know both, like to know the simple stuff and to be okay with mono meals and the simple stuff, and also sometimes make like delicious, like really, really extravagant, delicious
yeah,
meals. Yeah, it's really cool to have both. Yeah, it's really cool. Like the bundle, there's so many e-courses, so many ebooks and e-courses in there.
yeah,
It's really fantastic. It's really cool what there is. I
yeah.
think
Do you have a favorite or is any stick out to you that you like?
I mean, like yours, of course.
Thank you.
I think yours is really amazing. Like it has 120 pages or something like that. So,
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I
so
think
or
it's
more.
like, yeah, I think it's like 200 and some, right?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe I
Yeah,
switched up the
it's
number.
like 223.
Oh, wow. Yes, I really love yours, but there's so much. Like the thing was, I was sick, so I couldn't really go through everything. But I
Yeah.
read a little bit. Karen Ramsey's. She wrote a book about autism, like
Yep.
the connection between food and autism, which I think is super valuable.
Yeah.
And just some also like cooked vegan recipe ebooks are so beautiful.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that like the thing is there's so much in this bundle, so it already takes so much time to go through the ebooks. And so I think if you buy the bundle, you will get so much out of it, and
Yeah.
so much. I think if you buy one, it lasts you for many, many months or maybe years to come because
Yeah.
there's so much in them. Do
I
you
know.
have a favorite or?
Yeah, kind of like you. I mean, a lot of them look good. I really like, so I'm one of my like main focuses is like synthetic chemicals and their
Yeah,
effect on the microbiome. And so I
yeah.
know a doctor, I think Stephanie Peacock has an ebook in there about like everyday chemicals that make us gain weight. And so I
Ah,
thought that,
wow. So
yeah, I thought
interesting.
that one was really interesting. I like your book a lot too, as well. And, and yeah, I mean, and Karen's book, just like you said, but there's even one debunking every argument against veganism. I thought that was a really great idea for a book. It
Yeah,
basically
that's a
goes
great one.
for pretty much every argument that you'll ever hear about
Yeah,
why we shouldn't be vegan,
yeah.
and he kind of goes through how you can respond to that and why that's not
Ah,
true. So
that's amazing.
yeah,
I remember that because I went vegan in 2015, and back then in Germany, nobody was vegan. And
yeah,
also, I'm from a really small, like my parents, really small village, super conservative, kind of
mhm,
Bavarian
yep,
culture, so
okay,
super meat-based. And I also, because I felt like, oh my God, I'm the only one. So I wrote right in the beginning, like a big list of all the answers or all the like when people say
yeah,
something like what
yep,
I could answer
yeah,
and like debunking all the myths. So I think it's so valuable because I think right now Germany is kind of changing. The mindset is a little bit changing, getting more open towards veganism, but
okay,
still I think so many people live in places where people are just really conservative maybe and not knowing about veganism.
yeah.
So I think it's great to know to debunking those myths and know what you could say to people who maybe don't know about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really,
100%. I was the same way. I binge watched like Joey Carbstrong and Earthling Ed and
yeah,
some of those
yeah,
guys like
yeah.
way back in the day. And yeah, I was just trying to learn because yeah, I heard a lot of the same type of thing. I come from a pretty small town in Minnesota as
Yeah.
well, and I did have a friend who was a vegetarian growing up
Okay.
for a few years,
Okay.
and he's not anymore. But
Oh no.
I know. So, but yeah, that was my pretty much my only experience, like interaction with anybody that didn't live just a standard, meat based diet. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's definitely something that is growing and reaching some of these like smaller towns and cities and villages. So that's great to see. And I think the bundles like this one and the other ones that have been out there, I think are a great way to give a lot of people that are in situations like we were in, empowerment to learning and seeing how to make this lifestyle work,
Yeah.
and getting all that good experience.
Yeah, I think it's great as well because I think when I started, there was just so much misinformation out there and you
Yeah,
didn't really know. Like you didn't really know. And I think that like Lisa, the person who I think created the bundle together with
yeah,
AJ, I
yeah,
think, like she does such an amazing work to really find out the
yep,
contributors or people who can contribute to the ebook. So she already did kind of the work for
right,
you, for the people who buy the bundle, because you don't need to research, or because for me, how I went vegan, I watched the YouTube videos and then, like, oh, I found this person and then I found this person, but it took a lot more time, I think. I think if you just buy the bundle, like Lussa did already the work for you and already found those people who can have amazing ebooks or e-courses, and it makes it easier, I think, for you to learn and yeah, and to create a good foundation, because I think like going vegan for me is always the foundation of raw food, because for me raw food is kind of, I do it for my health and also for the planet, but mostly for my health. But like in some situations, like I don't know, really traumatic situations, or now I got sick in Bangkok, there was no food, I always go back to my foundation of veganism, because vegan I can always like I never had one experience where I couldn't be vegan, but I definitely had maybe a few experiences where it was just super hard to stay raw vegan. So I think just having that vegan foundation is really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, that's such a great example and a great point. And I think that it's so important for people. I mean, one, to get the education they need to know that, to be confident in being vegan, right, as their foundation, because once you understand that we have zero requirements to eat animal products to be healthy, and then you realize how unnecessary and how wrong it is to take the life of another living being unnecessarily, so I think that is a great foundation to hold, just the vegan just understanding why veganism is so beneficial and so right, and then just going from there in terms of rawness and that sort of stuff. So
I think it's also great because I think some people, they are raw vegan maybe for a couple of months and then they go straight to eating meat again.
Yeah.
And I think it's because maybe going straight to raw vegan, it's a big step. Like you cut out a lot of food and it's like a big challenge. And I think if you maybe put in between the step of going vegan first, you create kind of a base. And then whenever maybe raw vegan is too complicated because things happen in life, then you can always go back to veganism. And maybe that would prevent some people from going back to animal like products or going back to eating animals. So yeah, I think that's really important. Yeah. And I wanted to ask you like completely different, but what is like one of the biggest challenges you faced being mostly raw vegan or vegan? Can you say one?
Yeah, that's a great question. So probably, I guess I would say doing like having the confidence to live this lifestyle in the early days when it was the complete, I couldn't be more opposite from my current lifestyle, and the social aspect of it with all my friends, because it completely was against everything that all my friends were doing and what I used to do, partying all the time, like several times a week, and going to the bars and getting fast food after the bars and all these things. So it was something that I had to really embrace, what I felt was right in my heart, and follow my intuition. I really had, that's where my my channel name really came from, is because that was the thing that really helped me get through that challenge, was embracing the message that I was getting from my intuition and following what I truly felt was right. Because once I got into this lifestyle, and I did that through a juice fast, a 10-day juice fast that kind of sparked my understanding of the power of fruits and vegetables, and it just kind of cleared my mind. My intuition, my connection with that inner voice was just so much stronger, and I couldn't ignore it anymore, because I did have, times in my life where, thinking back, I did have that intuitive knowing that I wasn't living in alignment with my values. But then, once I got more fresh fruits and vegetables into my body, I think that helped me connect more with that voice. And so from there on, I just I had a lot of little debates and arguments with my friends,
Yeah,
and they gave me a hard time for a little bit, but over time, honestly, they really were accepting of my new,
yeah,
like, the direction I was going. Um, and to be honest, I don't hang out with those friends much anymore. I
yeah,
still consider them my friends, but we just have different interests now, and so I found new friends and
yeah,
a new community to
yeah,
be, to spend time with, and that's really what I think is important for people to understand, is even though it might seem like, your current life is like upside down, and you don't, you're not connecting with your friends as well anymore, and things just seem kind of negative. It will get better, because the more you understand about this lifestyle, the more you educate yourself, and the more you kind of immerse yourself in this community, the more friends you're going to make, and the more
yeah.
connections you'll make, and things start to become more normal, just like they did before. Now they're just normal in a new way, in a new healthier way. So yeah.
Yeah, I completely love that. For me, it was the same. I think the biggest challenge I had, and in some cases still have, is just the social aspect. I
Yeah.
think especially because I went vegan,
Hmm.
raw vegan, quite young. So when I was still a teenager, like 12 years, when I was 12, I went vegetarian. So everything was kind of in my teenage years. So still friends played a huge role. I think when you get older, maybe you get a little bit more confident in yourself.
Yep.
But when you're young, you're so insecure, and I felt always like I'm the weird one because nobody was vegan or vegetarian.
Yep.
And I definitely had to find ways and on how I can connect with people in different ways than, for example, food. And it was the same, like I'm from a small village, and the people and the friends that I have there, like I really like them, but it's just really hard to connect. So I also now I went to Spain, for example, and it's just when your interests change, you also meet different people with different interests, and then they accept you for who you are. And I think that was a really cool revelation that you can connect with people in different ways, not just food, but also when you go out of maybe your small place that you were in and you meet different people, it's okay who you are. You just need maybe find different people who accept you for who you are.
Yep.
So yeah, that was a big, and also just accepting myself for being different, for eating different. I think that was the biggest challenge of going raw. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have to say, I'm so impressed by you, because you went raw, or you said you went vegetarian when you were 12.
Yeah, quite young.
Yeah, that's
Quite young.
amazing. I mean, I
Yeah.
thought I was young. I was only 25. So I mean, 17, 12 to 17. I mean, that's really impressive.
Yes, some because the thing is, like, really, my family, they still eat meat, and they don't really believe in veganism.
Mm.
So they still, for example, I was sick, and my mom's like, "You need to eat meat again." So they're still really in my face. But I think, yeah, I think the key is just kind of like with going like vegetarian, it's really just compassion and understanding, hey, I don't want to harm animals. But with vegan and especially raw vegan, it's really just education, just
Mm.
learning about it and how things work. And I think once you have that, you can stick with it.
Yep.
So yeah, I think there's also a person who wrote in the chat. Can
Yeah.
you read it?
Yeah. It looks like Mrs. Nicole Irene Flynn. Thanks, Nicole, for the question. She's saying, I'm trying to go raw from being vegan for 5 years now. Is it suggested to try doing a juice fast before the switchover?
What would you say?
Yeah. So I would say it really depends.
It depends.
It depends on the person. That's what I did.
Yeah,
I started with a 10-day juice fast. I actually originally meant to go for 3 days, but I felt so good, I ended up going for 10.
yeah,
Um, and that was really beneficial for me. I think that can be helpful for switching over your taste buds, kind of getting rid of all those hyper stimulating
yeah,
products that people eat, and kind of just resetting your palate. But you don't have to do it that way. You can
yeah.
certainly just go into eating whole raw foods.
Yeah.
and that works too. So it kind of I think it does speed up the process a little bit and helps you
Mhm.
kind of clean, because when you're eating food, um, it's more there's more temptation to eat things maybe that we wouldn't normally eat or that we don't want to eat, so we can eat like junk food and things. But if you're juicing, then you take eating out of the equation, and so to me that makes it more simple and more easy for people to stick with in those first few days. um,
Mhm.
but again, everybody is different, and some people can get kind of overboard with the fasting, and so, it really, whatever is going to work best for you, I think is the best way to do it. What would you say?
I would say the same. I would say it really depends on the individual because I think there are some people who overdo it with fasting. They say, "Oh, I go 3 days," and then they go for maybe 30 days or 35 days, and they're completely starving, and then they eat whatever they need or whatever they want, kind of, or they go to binging. So I think it really depends on each person. I think my personal advice would be to not overdo it. If you do a juice fast, do maybe 3 days, and then like I think some people they have the urge when they hear about raw food, oh no, like I want to detox everything, and they want to like do all the detox in one like in a short period of
Yeah,
time. And I would say to slow down with that, to really first build, if it's possible, the foundation of eating enough veggies, eating enough fruit, and to have that foundation before you really go into detox. Because I feel like some people they overdo it with detox and they use detox or fasting and all of that as a shortcut
yeah,
for actually doing the work of studying and learning how to do the diet, the raw food diet properly. So I would say it depends. If it feels right for you, do it, but maybe just do it for a couple of days and don't do it 25 days because it could backfire.
yeah.
Especially if you don't do it supervised, then it could, I think, backfire.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are perfectly said. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I think the foundation is really just understanding how to eat,
Yeah.
in a healthy way. And so if you're relying on the juice fast,
Yeah.
to without the education, and it's usually not going to end well. You're going to probably go back to eating how you used to eat.
Yeah.
So yeah, having good education and just getting more of an understanding of how to structure your new diet,
Yeah.
I think, yeah, you said it perfectly. So
Yeah. But it could be a cool introduction. So
yeah.
I never personally did much juice fasting. So because it's so much work. But I think for
Yeah.
some people it works. So
Yep.
yeah, I would say see what works for
Cool.
you. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. I think we are uh, 40 minutes, I think. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw any other questions. Let's see. It looks like Amber is going to buy the bundle. So thank you, Amber. That's awesome. And let's see.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see any other comments
Oh,
right now, but did
yeah.
you have anything else that you wanted to kind of go over regarding the bundle or anything else?
I think only Amber asked for the ever your book is in a bundle. Yes, my book is in a bundle. I was just the thing was I was kind of sick, so I didn't promote it so much. But yes, it's in the bundle. It's really cool offer. And no, like I think I said everything. I'm a fan of your book and what you do. Um, like I really love in your book also the concept of the 5-star salad and the mind body soul connection, and that it's really I think also that's something I've learned. The longer I'm actually on this kind of journey, the more I realize that it's really not just food, it's your mind, it's the environment. Like for example, I was in Bangkok, for example, and the air pollution is crazy. So I
Mm,
think that even if you eat super healthy, like still the air pollution it will just kind of damage so damage your lungs in a way. So I think it's a whole concept, and I think that's so why it's so interesting. So yeah, I don't know.
yeah. I appreciate that, and I agree. Yeah, it's a whole lifestyle. It's there's so much that goes into to transforming our life, and so definitely, raw foods have been a huge catalyst for me in achieving such a higher level of mental and physical and spiritual
Yeah,
well-being. But yeah, I think that it is important for people to focus on all the pillars, right? Not just the
yeah,
diet. And that is one of the amazing things about
yeah,
bundles. Bundles have all these different, there's workout information, building muscle and getting fit. And then there's, information about yoga and also, other diet related things. And a lot of the plant-based doctors, like I mentioned in the beginning, it's not just the raw vegan influencers out there. There's also, if you're looking for more credentialed information, there is a lot of the plant-based doctors out there.
yeah.
And yeah, so there's I think there's great information that can really help pretty much anybody in any phase of their lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure. So again, if you have not already, check out the bundle. You can get it from Matt's or my Instagram bio. And I think that's like, I don't have anything else to add. Do you have something to ask or to talk about? Or
I think we covered it pretty good. Yeah, I mean,
right.
it sounds amazing. So I guess what's next for you? Are you planning to travel again, or are you gonna kind of stick around your home now, or what's next?
So that's a great question. Because I don't know. No, like my plan. So right now I'm in Germany at my parents' house, but it's obviously not a long term because like living with your parents, I cannot do it anymore. No way.
Yeah.
So my plan is actually I go back to Spain. Like I did before. I lived in Spain, worked for a German company online, and did kind of this raw food on the side. And that's my plan again, that I work again online, go to Spain, live in Spain, and work on my raw food company on the
Yeah.
side. And hopefully one day in the future, do it like fully, my raw foods.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's because because I was now like traveling in the tropics, but I realized it's not for me. Like I
Yeah.
really like Germany and Spain.
Oh,
So I
really?
think, yeah,
Okay.
I think because
Cool.
I didn't do well with the humidity and with
Mm,
it was just so hot. And I think maybe because I'm from Germany and I'm used to the cold weather, I
yeah.
just didn't do well. It was just so humid. Like you go for a walk, and then you come back and you're just completely full of sweat. And I'm like, ah. No, and I think in Spain it's hot in the summer, but it's more dry,
Yeah.
and I deal better with it. And I just love Spanish culture, and yeah. So that's my plan, go to Spain. But I say always day by day kind of,
Yeah.
because it's like moving to Spain, it's kind of a big project in a way. So day by day. What's your plan? You stay in Minnesota, or
Uh,
do you have plans to
that's
move?
a great question. I mean, for now, but I do have plans of, moving somewhere more south,
Yeah,
where like maybe Florida, we're not exactly sure where exactly it's going to be,
yeah,
but definitely within the next couple of years, I don't expect, or I wouldn't be surprised if we're, further south in the US,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
but I've actually never, other than so I've been to like Hawaii and I've been to Mexico and Florida. So that's
Yeah,
about as tropical as I've,
yeah,
experienced. So I'd be interested to know, how I fare in the tropics and
yeah.
how I like that. Because I don't know, I think I might like the humidity, but it's hard to say without actually experiencing it.
Yeah, I would say before you move, definitely go there for a couple of weeks or days to experience it. Because before
Yeah.
I went to Thailand, I mean, I was in the tropics before, but it was many years ago, so I forgot. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I will love like the Bali lifestyle or
Yeah.
I will love it. No, it would be not for me, not at all.
Wow.
like I would die. Just, I was just so hot, like I was just going out of the room and then going inside the room because there was AC, and then kind of alternating between it. That's how I survived, but it's not
Yeah.
for me. Like I think my perfect is, I don't know Fahrenheit, but in degrees, it's kind of like 20, 25 degrees. So
Yeah.
like really not too hot, not too cold.
Yep.
That's, but yeah, people are different.
Nice.
But yeah,
Yeah.
excited for your plans and if you move, how you move, where you move.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really
I'll
cool.
definitely be posting about it, you know, but other than, you know, location wise, I am actually writing my new book, which is it's a remake of the Five Star Salad book. So it's
Yeah,
going to be a book about five-star salads, but also dedicated to just educating people why it's important to include more leafy greens in their
yeah,
diet, because I do think even among the raw foodists, you know, that seems to be a neglected food group,
yeah,
is the leafy
yeah,
greens. And I do
yeah,
think that for me personally, I think, you know, big salads pretty much every day for the last, you know, over a decade has been a huge reason as to why I have done so well
yeah,
eating this way, and
yeah.
really had no cravings or anything like that. So so yeah, I'm writing another book that I'm gonna make into a paperback and an ebook. But yeah, I think it's going to be the foundation is going to be what I had in my first five-star digestion or five-star salad book, but it's going to be much more information in it and a lot more you know, I think helpful direction on how to include more leafy greens.
Yeah, I think that's awesome because I feel as well that in the raw food movement, there's kind of exactly like people say fruit is so amazing, and fruit is
Yeah.
amazing, but there like salad is equally as important. And I feel as well that I had, especially now in the tropics, I was traveling, so I didn't really have like a kitchen that much or a fridge, so I was eating definitely more fruit, and I felt sometimes out of balance. And I
Mm.
think I feel my best, and many people say it, they feel their best if when there's a balance between fruit and veggies. And for me, it was before I went to the tropics, I felt maybe if the fruit quality is amazing, you need less salad. But now, no, I know even if the fruit is amazing, I still love to eat salads and greens. It's just it's just a
Yeah.
balance kind of. So really excited for your book
Yeah.
when
Thank
it's
you.
finished.
Thank you. And that's really helpful to know. I've always been curious as to
Yeah,
people that live in the tropics, you know, since there is less variety, or it seems to be less access to good vegetables,
yeah.
um, that you do still crave them, even if you have the great fruit, huh?
I did. Yeah,
Cool.
I did know. For me, I always like they have, for example, jackfruit and
Yeah.
banana, but then I need, and I think especially if you don't have the greens, then still cravings come up of something
Yeah.
salty. And if you don't have greens, then I was craving kind of peanuts with
Mm.
salt or something
Yeah.
salty.
Huh.
But if you eat like celery or any like tomatoes, they have naturally this kind of sodium,
Yeah.
and then my cravings are gone. So no, I always need a
Yeah.
balance. Yeah.
Wow, that is great to know. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're
Cool. Well, hey,
welcome.
it's been amazing meeting you. We should have done this a
Yeah,
long time ago, but
yeah,
yeah, I
for
look forward to
sure.
connecting more in the future, and I
Yeah,
look
I would
forward
love
to whatever,
to.
you know, new projects you're coming out with, and
Yeah.
just watching your journey continue to unfold.
Yeah, I think so. Like this is for me a lifelong thing, I think. So probably for you as well. So probably see you
Yeah,
around.
yeah,
And yeah, and thank you guys for watching.
yeah,
It's really nice.
yeah.
Okay,
And
so I'm gonna say bye.
check the links in our bio if you want to check out the bundle. It's only through tomorrow, so yeah, make sure you go check that out before it's over, because you can't get it after that.
Yeah,
And next time that the bundle comes around, it's going to be completely different. So just remember that. And yeah, thanks again for everybody joining us,
thank
and thank you, Ava.
thank
It's great
you.
to meet you. And yeah, we'll catch you next time.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye.